What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. I hope y'all are having a good day, had a good day. Looking at the charts now, I'm a little mad at myself. I guess it is what it is. We traded live today. We almost caught the bottom, pretty close. So we had identified yesterday this single prince mid as a spot to hop in calls. We grabbed calls when we came down to here. We were in the red for a minute, and then for whatever reason, I mean, I know what the reason is, but I saw a lot of order flow coming in here on my footprint charts. And I was worried, since we had such a big selling candle from there, that coming back to that level, there was a chance that we might sell off and go lower. So instead of trusting my analysis, which was to take the trade up to the top here, I closed early. And in retrospect, I mean, I literally said yesterday, if we come down, retest single print mid, play it up to here, and we would have been golden. We ended up going a little bit higher, even retested that level and went higher. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I will say, trying to think of the best way to word this, but basically everything going on, with last week and the dog and all that stuff has definitely been affecting me. Today, I don't even know the best way to word this. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and we'll get to the charts. And really quickly, I don't have any option setups today. Just an FYI. Sorry. But the I know when I say this, I'm going to sound weak or whatever, and I'm fine with that. I know who I am as a person. I know who I am when it comes to my morals and all that stuff, and I don't mind looking weak or whatever in front of people. If that's what people choose to think, that's fine. I have nothing to prove here on the internet. But I am a disabled vet. I do have PTSD. I have pretty bad anxiety that goes along with that, and social anxiety. And when all that stuff popped off last week, calling lawyers today and having to revisit everything that happened and having to talk about everything I went through has really brought things to the surface, brought like the anxiety to the surface. And so I've definitely been struggling today, and you might even be able to hear it in my voice a little bit. If I don't know what the right word is, but if I wanted to, I could easily cry right now, if that makes sense. I don't feel like an overwhelming need to cry, but it is definitely there, like in the back. And I definitely could if I felt like it. So I'm sure all of that stuff is, kind of affecting the trading today. Thank you very much, Trudy. I appreciate that. And, also, it's just not even like lawyers, but I also had a lot of friends, asking me what happened, because they just couldn't understand. They knew who I am as a person. They know my character. And they just, from what they were hearing, it was sounding like I was having some crazy violent episode where I attacked some dude's car, But that's not the case. So when they heard the reality of what happened, they understood. And of course, support me in my actions. And still, regardless of all of that, I would not change a thing. I didn't, did not want the window to break. I would change that if I could, but I wouldn't change my actions, I guess. I stand behind what I did, and I guess it is what it is. with that said, on to the charts. Oh, and also a couple of things while I'm thinking about it. There's a very possible chance I'm not going to be able to go live tomorrow. So, Ryder, I do not go to the VA. I have in the past. I don't know where you live, but like the wait times here in the wait times here in LA are really horrific. Like you could be waiting in the waiting room for like 6 hours to be seen. And I don't have the energy for that, so I do not go to the VA. Hey, what's up, Stocks for Real? Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Thank you, Davis. Bro, don't text. Just drive. Just drive. Appreciate the love. Thank you for being here. You guys know, always a big supporter of Rel. Definitely check him out on Keenan's. He's one of the ones that trades live. And again, if you see somebody doing it live and they can do it consistently over and over again, they're worth learning from. They're worth watching. They're worth tuning into. So he's definitely one of the real ones. You guys know where to find him. In the past, I would link his YouTube and whatever, but you guys know where to find him. Definitely go check him out. I don't feel like going and grabbing the link today, but yeah. Nothing but love from me. All right, so we have 2-day balance here. Let's go ahead and draw our SIGs. Oh, and sorry, I lost my train of thought there when I read what Rel had said. But what I was going to say is there's a very real possibility that I'm not going to be able to trade live. I mean, that I'm not going to be able to go live tomorrow and do chart analysis. And if that's the case, then I'll just post levels for you guys as soon as I have a free moment. But I will definitely do my best to do a video for you guys. I don't like to miss days, but sometimes, life's and it's just inevitable. And there's nothing I can do about it. And tomorrow, I think, might be one of those days. But again, like I said, heads up just in case. But I will definitely do my best to be here. Go live for you guys, post levels, so on and so forth. And I think also with that said, I'm thinking about going live on Wednesday, trading live Wednesday. I'll let you guys decide if I trade live on Wednesday or not, based on viewer interactions. So how many likes the video gets, how many people respond in the chat or speak in the chat or whatever. We'll go based off of that. I'm sure based on past times I've asked for likes, which is not very often. You guys come through pretty hard. So I'm sure we will be trading live on Wednesday. And the reason for Wednesday versus tomorrow is Keenan trades live on Tuesdays, and I would rather not step on his toes. And also that way you guys don't have to choose, between watching him or watching me or trying to watch both at the same time, which would be pretty wild. And if we do it live on Wednesday, then, it just gives you more opportunity. Like you can tune into Keenan or to me today, Keenan tomorrow, me Wednesday, and then back to Keenan on Thursday. So that's what's up. Oh, and I also kind of forgot to mention, so our original plan, I don't know, was to get in right at the single print mid. I think it was right around here roughly. Trade it up to right around here somewhere. I don't know the exact level. But I also had a scenario for the downside. And unfortunately, I got beat up yesterday. So This was my entry short when we tapped the single prints, which was basically where I was telling you guys to get in short and trade it down. I don't remember the exact levels because I erased the chart now, but I ended up getting in here, and I looked at it when price was right around here, and I was up like $500. My main point in sharing this is I want to show you guys, like, I don't play around and move my stop losses unless I have a really good reason to, and it's very rare. But so right around when this was happening, yeah, it was like midnight my time, 12:30 almost. I was actually going to bed. I glanced at this on my phone, saw them start running it back up, and I was like, oh, nice. Like, they're probably going to go and stop me out. I was hoping that we were going to get a reaction here, sell back off. But basically, I saw the whole thing playing out. Kind of the bummer was my take profit was right at, I want to say 6,252. So we were pretty close. And like I said, I was up right around $500 at this point. My stop loss was at, where was it? It must have been, I don't know. It was right around here somewhere, like 86.50, I think. So they finally hit me on this candle here. So yeah, just showing you guys, went from being positive like $500 to, I don't even remember the loss size. I think it was right around 250, 260. But again, those are the trades that can be a little bit difficult, like where you're just trading your levels, right? And you're deep green on your trade and it goes against you and goes all the way and runs up and hits your stop loss. So the, again, sharing this mainly just to show, like, I practice what I preach, right? It is what it is. Life goes on. Those trades are going to happen every now and then where you're deep in the green and then it goes against you and you get stopped out, and just kind of is what it is, I guess. So just sharing it with you guys again, however you want to look at it, sharing it you guys, hopefully for educational reasons, learn from me, learn from my mistakes. I don't consider what I did a mistake, but I'm just saying, when I do make mistakes, I try to use them as teaching moments. But also just learn, to trade your levels, so on and so forth. Pavel, very, what's the word? Like, very good of you to notice. Shorty's mom, was, I'm trying to think of the right verbiage, but she wasn't doing very well. Looked like, she was really sick. So Shorty hopped on a plane and flew back home. For people that don't know, he's from Bosnia. And anyway, he flew back to go visit his mom and help her out with whatever. And fortunately now she's doing better. Things seem to be on the up and up. And he should be coming back pretty soon, I think. So we'll start getting market updates from him again when he gets back. All right. So, I mean, our normal routine, ES opened, we've sold off, so on SPY, like we lost these levels. We're back down here. Let's look at our big picture. We're still forming that big old bull flag. And again, like I said, if they break this to the upside, first target's going to be 635 and some change. I would call it 635.50. If I was in this trade, if we took calls, I'd probably close right at 635 or 635 and a quarter. I like to get out of options in strength. That way I don't miss, like the top and start losing value very quickly on my contract as we start seeing selling come in. Today was a very low volume day, comparatively. Or not very low, but it was a lower volume day. The last day that we had that was this low volume was last Thursday, right? Which was a half day. I think it was a half day. Pretty sure it was, yeah. Let's look at news really quick. I think tomorrow's CPI and PPI. That's going to give us some good volatility. Yeah, so an hour before the market opens, we have all the CPIs. We have Fed speakers, FOMC speakers. Looks like most of the day. And then more CPI at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's going to be a pretty wild day with all of the news that we have coming in. Oh, PPI is tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, we're going to have a pretty volatile pre-market, and then some volatility with speakers and all kinds of other stuff. Interesting day. I will also say, for those of you that were able to trade live with me today, again, this is becoming way too common, but you guys are getting to see the patience of waiting for setups and just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, which is a very important aspect of trading. And you have to learn that as a trader. You have to learn how to be patient. Otherwise, you'll just never be successful. If you're always in a trade, you're doing something wrong, because there's not, I mean, if you're looking at different ticker symbols, whatever, and you've charted all of them, there is a chance of being, pretty consistently in trades. But if you're focusing on one ticker like SPY or whatever, you definitely should not always be in a trade. There definitely should be some waiting and waiting for price to get to your levels, right? Trying to see, what else do I want to... Oh, let's pull up my quant tower. Let's look at the footprint chart, see if there's any imbalances. I don't think there are, but let's look at them, and let's look at the cluster charts and try to find some of those high volume nodes. I'm pretty sure... Actually, I just realized this is a miss for me. This should have been spot to hop in calls. Why did I not? Maybe I was gone by this time. I must have been done when this happened, but we came back to here. Bounced. This was a spot to get in long, because I know right here we have like a high volume, or no, the high volume cluster was down here that I was watching anyway. There might have been one formed here, but the one I was watching was down here. So anyway, let's take a look at it. See what we can find. Let's just start with imbalances. Nothing. Excuse me. This is definitely worth noticing up here. 13 and 14. Okay, yeah. All right. That's pretty simple. So again, this is one of those things where, without even looking at footprint charts, without even looking at imbalances and clusters and whatever else, this is an area we want to be short, right? This is an area we want to be in puts. So definitely, if they give us this range tomorrow, we're wanting to be in puts, right? I I'm not going to bother drawing a box around it. But we can see that level on the chart here where, I mean, this is just massive selling for ES on a 5-minute candle. Here we have a pretty big cluster of orders, right? 11 to 13. And again, there we have like the second sig, third sig, whatever else. We have not retested that level since we lost it. And so the next time we come there, we want to be in puts, right? We want to be in short. But again, we just have so much confluence on the chart there anyway. It's the previous day value area high, the second sig, the third sig, this whole range right here. You slap puts and you don't really bat an eye. I just realized what I'm missing. I forgot to do my what's it called? TPO. So here we have single prints. You guys let me know if you want me to turn on TPO, I can, but this is pretty clear to me. Single prints at the bottom, and then at the top we actually have a poor high. So when they come up to this, whatever it is, the 625-ish area to like 625, we'll say 30. They might want to go a little bit higher and clean up this poor high at the top before we reject and get slapped down. But I would not hesitate and miss the trade. I would be getting in short or getting in puts at the second sig. And then, you know, stop loss just somewhere up here. You don't need to give them very much room, frankly. At the most, I would stop out right here. Like right there. 25.54. You don't need to give them very much room. I guess you could say the top of the candles here, whatever. We'll call it 25.75, but you don't need to give them very much room. If we don't reject from this area or a little bit above it, they're going to run all the way up to here. So if we gain this and don't look like they were going to reject and head down, stop out of your trade quickly and then just wait for this range here to slap puts and play it all the way down. Okay. Let me see if I have any interesting buy volume. I don't think we do. There's an imbalance, 305-ish to 307. I'm going to ignore this because I want this here. I want them to come up and tap 311. And if they come up to here and reject from there, I'm okay with missing the trade. I would rather miss this trade than get in early. Sometimes, like let's just say, if I was trading options and I have a level here and I have a level here and I don't want to miss the trade, let's say my normal sizing is like 2 contracts of SPY. What I would do is grab one here and grab my second one here, and then I would have the same stop loss for both. But in this instance, I don't feel the need to be in here. If I miss the trade, it's too early. Like, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but if they come to here and they reject, I'm fine with missing the trade. I don't want to get in this early when I'm pretty confident that we should get this if they head up in this direction. And it's going to be a big old smackdown from there. And again, like I said, if it's not, we can have a really tight stop loss. And then we look for that next high volume node we have identified up here, and we just slap puts there. And kind of the same thing. You can have a really tight stop loss on this. I'll just give you guys kind of an example so you know what I'm talking about. If we're getting into this trade, I would probably be looking for this initially. And your stop loss, you could put here. If they break above these single prints, they're going to keep going. We're going to be making new all-time highs, and they're just going to keep smashing, right? From here, you can even bring this down and target previous day value area low. If we break below, break inside of our previous day value area high, get those 3 5-minute candles retest, and then you can target all the way down to previous day value area low. And at that point, you're getting 4-to-1 risk to reward. This scenario, you're getting 2.3-to-1 risk to reward. Both are good. All right. All right. We're going to be watching for, again, I've already talked about this, but this is kind of our range where we want to get inputs. I'm tripping here. Single prints. I'm not going to mark the mid. You guys are welcome to, but that's because this whole range here for me is a spot to hop in calls. Oops. And I would also definitely be interested in this. So right now, you know, we're right in between our previous day value area high, value area low. If for whatever reason, overnight session, we lose this, or even if we lose it during regular trading hours, right? And we get 45 minutes outside here doing whatever, it doesn't really matter. Come back inside, retest, play it up to previous day value area high. Okay. Oh, wait, that's the previous day VPOC. We want to go to there. All right. So those are the scenarios that I'm really interested in. Puts here, if we come to this range, tight stop loss. If you get stopped out, just slap puts here. Again, tight stop loss. If we break over these single prints, very good chance we're going to start running, making newer, higher all-time highs, right? If for whatever reason we gap down below previous day value area low, spend 45 minutes outside, come back inside, retest, play the 80% rule to the upside. If we gap down, or sorry, if we lose it during regular trading hours, 45 minutes outside, come back in, play the 80% rule to the upside. Oh, sorry, 1 second, everybody. I just realized I can't see anything you guys are saying because I need to close this chart. Hey, what's up, Nora? Sorry, I couldn't see chat, so hey, what's up, Generational Grindhouse? Anyway, levels I think should be pretty clear. The plan for tomorrow I think should be pretty clear. If you guys have any questions, now would be the time to ask. I am going to go and post this in Keenan's. I'm going to have to zoom in pretty wild, I guess, for these levels to kind of show. It's still pretty messy, but whatever. It is what it is. Not much I can do about it. Um, oh, my neck. Um, all right. Doesn't look like there's any questions. I was going to say, um, oh, let's look at how many likes the video has. See if we're going live on Wednesday. I hope we are. Um, for me, as long as, and I'm gonna actually say this now. I always type it out, but as long as people are respectful, right, and there's not like a bunch of open mics and hot mics and background noise and people asking, like questions at inappropriate times. And inappropriate times would be like when we're, looking at a setup, we're looking to get into a trade or whatever. Um, in my opinion, that's not the time, right, for education. Um, for people that were live with me today, you saw like today was actually pretty perfect. We traded live. We caught one setup. We kind of caught the bottom. We were red for a minute there. Um, Everything worked out. We closed early. I screwed up on that. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Um, but the the actual live itself, I feel like was really good in the sense that we had to sit there and be patient, right? We got the setup we were looking for. We took the trade. We closed the trade. Then we were waiting for the next setup. We didn't really get the next setup that I was looking for. So we kind of ended the live as far as trading was concerned. And at that time, I opened up the floor for questions, and we spent, I don't really know exactly, but I would estimate a good 30 minutes to an hour just focusing on education and teaching and answering questions, talking about trading, like just trying to answer pretty much any question anybody could think of, right? Um, which hopefully that's helpful. I feel like, and when I say this, I'm never saying this from a perspective of bragging, right? But I remember when I was a newer trader, and any time that I could get like a moment where I have an experienced trader like willing to talk to me and answer my questions, I would try to ask as many questions as I possibly could. And we literally stayed live until there was no more questions, right? And I'm happy to do that with you guys. Um, but also, with that said, um, I do like, like answering questions when there's a larger audience, because there's always going to be people that have the same question and they're afraid to ask it. Or there's going to be people that don't even know that they have that question. And then when they hear the answer, they were like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad I know that now, right? So in those instances, we're not only answering that individual's question, but we're helping people, again, that are either too afraid to ask or don't even know that they don't know, or that it's something that they want to know, right? Um, so with that said, my DMs are always open, right? If you guys have a question, you're always welcome to DM me. I will always do my best to reply to you, to answer you guys, to try to help out. Whatever it is, teaching, education, doesn't matter. But like I said, I would prefer to do it in more of a public forum. That way we're helping more than just one person at a time, you know? But again, it doesn't matter to me how it works out. If it is a private DM and it's just me and you, as long as I'm not busy, I'm going to take as much time as it needs to answer your questions and help you guys out. And I'm always down for that. Um, and again, I think for me, like the big thing is respect. And with that said, I never said anything, but I do have to say thank you to everybody. Like the week where I was on vacation, or in jail, whatever, both vacation/jail, good times. I got very, very few DMs. And I was actually kind of shocked, because I was like, oh, people are going to be blowing up my DMs. And I'm one of those people where I can't ignore people. So like, I'm going to go look at the DM. I'm going to answer questions, whatever else, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if it was some fluke or just that people were being respectful. And if it was people being respectful, really, truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Because I definitely needed the time off. And most of the people that DM me wasn't like asking questions. It was more like, How are you doing? How's the vacation going? Right. Which is cool. Um, I have to say, like, I have a lot of love for all of you guys. Um, seeing the same people, the same names over and over again in the chat, like, um, you build relationships, you build fondness for people. And like my regulars that are here, I have a lot of love for you guys. And so when you take a minute out of your day to reach out and check in with me and make sure I'm having a good day and whatever else, I definitely appreciate it. I think only one person DM me with a question, and it's not a name that I recognize. So they might not have even known that I was on vacation. All the other DMs, like I said, were more like, "Hey, what's up? How's the vacation going? I hope you and the family are well." Stuff like that. Anyway, huge thank you to all of you. Appreciate the love. Also appreciate you guys letting me get the rest and not spamming me with questions. But with that said, vacation's over, jail's over, whichever way you want to look at it. You can get back to spamming my DMs, or even better, ask publicly, when we're live. And that way we're answering the question for more people. Um, Let me go see how many likes the video got.
Try and explain to me how you can join a free...
Ah, it's not enough. 37, 33 likes. You guys suck. Start over. You're crazy, Jack. So yeah, no live on Wednesday. You guys are terrible. There's only 33 likes, so I guess I'll save it for another day when you guys are not lame. I'm actually joking. I will say this with like a little caveat. And I think you guys already know this. Like, I work so much and I work such long hours and I'm up late, and the trying to think of the best way to word this. On top of like being up late, working, looking at charts, whatever, there comes a point where my body just says enough is enough, and I will sleep through my alarm. So if I ever tell you guys like I'm going to be live on this day and I'm not live on that day, it means I slept through my alarm, because it was probably a combination. Oh, I love you too, Danny. A combination of working, too long of hours with not enough rest in between, not enough sleep, and then trying to think of the days where I sleep through my alarm. I'm probably chasing my wife around the bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, whatever. So anyway, if I ever say I'm going to be live on a certain day and I'm not there, I slept through my alarm. I apologize. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate the donation. And if that ever does happen, I'll make it up another day. But as of now, jokes aside, as far as like you guys sucking on the likes, I don't really care about that stuff, honestly. The likes on the video, I never check them. Like when I'll do a video, I never look back at my YouTube analytics, like how many viewers I got, how many likes I got. The only thing I do really look at is the comments, and that's because a lot of times they're questions. So I'll go back and answer questions. Would be the reason I look at comments. Also, people say nice things in the comments, so always appreciate that. And so with that said, like, none of that stuff is important to me. The only reason that it's like mildly important to me is, and we talked about this on the live. That's a really good idea. Why not? I'll use that in the future. And I'll put some potatoes inside the pillowcase or something, make it heavier. Um, where was I going? Now I lost my train of thought. That's funny. Um, oh, so the only reason that I actually even mildly care about likes or comments on the video and stuff like that, interactions on the video, is to me it's important that I don't know what the verbiage is, but like that we get the message out there, right? I think the majority of the people that are here watching the videos have been watching for a long time. They know who I am as a person, right? They know my passion or whatever you want to call it for scammers, right? And for people that are trying to take advantage of other people. There's way too many people out there, trying to sell courses, trying to sell discords. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. If you don't see that person trading live, do not buy anything from them, right? But more importantly is the more that people interact with my videos, or people like Rel or whatever, people that trade live, Keenan, of course, Shorty, he'll trade live, dude's just a killer. Anyway, the more that people interact with videos from people like that, the more that's going to draw viewers to their channel that are interested in trading content, right? Or investing content. And hopefully, the more that we can draw people to those good creators that are actually honest people, that do it live, that do it well, that are not just trying to get rich off of, selling courses or selling discords or whatever else, that are actually genuinely trying to help people. The more that we can drive people to those channels or drive people to channels like myself, the more we're going to be able to help people out and save them from potentially wasting money on a course that's not going to help them, right? I'm pretty sure all of you know this is something that I'm pretty passionate about. I talk about it a lot. I will publicly call out scammers with absolutely no qualms, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Silo, ICT, like I'm actually going to chill there because there's some other ones that are too close, I guess, to people that I know and follow, and might be crossing some lines if I mention some more people. But again, the key is I know. So like the specific person I don't want to mention, I've mentioned him before, and I get a lot of flack for it every time I do mention him. And I'm not trying to like rock the boat, but I know that person does trade live sometimes. And every time he does, he just ends up losing bag after bag after bag. And then that right there is enough to tell you that he's not worth listening to, right? Like you don't need me to point out every single person that's not worth following. You got to use, also your own judgment. And again, my criteria for learning from a trader would be watching them do it live. And once I see them do it live a few times and they do it well, and well does not mean 100% win rate or an 80% win rate. You could have a 50% win rate or even a 40% win rate. As long as your risk to reward is over $2 earned for every dollar risked, as long as your win rate's around 40% or greater, you're making money, right? So I actually wasn't Big P, but yeah, he's up there. He's one of them. I'll just say this. It's like there's, I don't know, like a group of influencers that was like close with Keenan, I think, back in the day, like during COVID. And I think the only one worth listening to from that period is Keenan. The only one worth learning from is Keenan. But again, that's an opinion, right? I don't have any specific information against anybody else or anything else, but none of those other people trade live, and if they do, they suck when they do trade live. So again, you can discern from that what you want. But again, my criteria is like, if I'm going to learn from somebody, I need to see them trade live. And seeing them trade live, at that point, I just determine whether or not they're worth learning from, right? And I would just recommend for everybody here kind of the same thing. If you see somebody doing it live and they're doing it well, learn from them. Pick up whatever tidbits you can. Pick up any information that you can. If people don't trade live, whatever excuse they give you, I'm too busy, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Don't learn from them. Because like even Rel, I don't even know if he's still here, but a lot of times you see that dude trading on his cell phone in a car, which is just wild, right? Actually, speaking of cell phones, I want to talk on this really quick. I'm not going to name the person, but Rel did a live trading session, I don't know, like a week and a half ago, something like that. And I was watching it. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. Like, not because I was trying to follow his trades, but I wanted to see him do it. That sounds about right, Big P. But so I just wanted to see him do his thing, you know? And like at the time I wasn't trading. I was done trading for the day. Yeah, so I don't know why I keep losing my train of thought. But yeah, so anyway, I was just there, wanted to see, wanted to watch him do his thing. I was done trading for the day and just wanted to see him do his thing. So I'm watching the video. And then somebody said, and maybe you guys can like correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody was like, oh, good to see you trading on a cell phone. Rockets always bashes people that trade on a phone, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? Like, I don't think I bash people for trading on a phone. I always tell people I started with a phone. And then I bought a tablet so I could trade on take trades on my phone and watch charts on my tablet. And then, back then, like when I first started trading, I started trading because I wanted to make more money. I wanted to make extra money. And so back then I didn't have a bunch of extra money sitting around. So I had to save up money to buy a desktop PC, right? So I don't know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like I've ever bashed people for trading on a phone. I always just say like you want to eventually level up to the point where you have a desktop computer that you can sit down and trade. I don't feel like, again, like I've ever bashed anybody, but I could be wrong. Would love to hear from you guys if you think that I have. So that kind of took me back because I was like, whoa, like, what are you talking about? I've never talked trash on anybody for trading on a phone. Anyway, just wanted to get that out there. I still remember the person's name that said it. And it's weird because a lot of times I'll see them here in the chat and I haven't seen them since. Why Not's asking what I think about Top Step moving to Top Step X, platform only, and no more Quant Hour. I hope it's a huge mistake for them. I hope they lose a lot of business is what I think. Unfortunately, Top Step was my go-to because they're the only prop firm that I know of. And maybe like putting this out into the universe, putting this out on YouTube, somebody might have information for me. But I still have my Top Step account, so until I blow it, I'll be trading there. But what's it called? As far as I know, they're the only prop firm that gives you the Quant Hour indicators for free, right? And I love the Quant Hour features because that's where I get like my or indicators, I should say. That's where I get my footprint charts. That's where I get my cluster charts. That's where I get my high volume clusters, all of that stuff. It's stuff that I use literally like every single day when I'm trading, and I wouldn't want to trade without it. And the thing is before I found out that Top Step offered free Quant Hour, I used to pay the $70 a month, which is not outrageous, right? But if you can save $70 a month and, you know, instead take that $70 and put it into an investment account, that would be a way better use of your money, right? And so that's kind of what I've done is I've stopped paying that $70 a month, and I have extra money I can throw into my investment account or, you know, whatever else I might be doing. But now that Quantower has done, or sorry, now that TopStep has done away with Quantower, I mean, I understand from a business perspective, they want people to trade on their platform versus trading on somebody else's platform. But I feel like they have an entire, like if we go to Top Steps, where is it? Discord, they literally have an entire section for Quantower, right? And so, like, at least from the people that chat, this is all of the, you know, this is a bunch of people that use Quantower, right? And if they feel as adamant as I do about using Quantower, because, and I think a lot of that chat I've seen is about footprint charts, is about cluster charts, all of that. They're potentially losing a lot of clients because there's just no way I'm going to switch to the TopStep X platform. I've used it before. I don't like it. I don't like the way their bracket orders work, because you can't put a tick amount, right? So it's like a dollar amount. So I remember one time I was trading on TopStep X, and my bracket was set for like a small sizing, and then I increased my sizing and I forgot to change my bracket, and I clicked buy or sell or whatever it was, and I basically immediately got stopped out because my bracket was like a $200 loss, but that was trading MES, not trading ES, and I think I took like 2 contracts of ES or whatever. And before I could even adjust my stop loss and take profit, I got stopped out really quick. And that was really frustrating for me. Whereas with Quantower, you're setting, your bracket is set in ticks, you know, like points moved, right? And so like my my bracket when I enter a trade on TopStep is 10 points stop loss, 20 points take profit. And that's just a general order to get into the trade, because sometimes, like, I'm sure it's happened to everybody here, but you'll get like a massive candle, right? Where you click like buy or whatever, you click sell, or you grab a call, you grab a put. And before you can even blink your eye, you get a news candle that just goes completely the opposite direction, wrecks your trade. And if you don't have a stop loss, you know, at least on futures, you're going to blow your account, right? So I use this general bracket order, you know, 10-point stop loss, 20-point take profit to enter the trade just in case there's some random news candle. And then as soon as I'm in the trade, I can adjust my levels, you know, my stop loss to where I actually want it to be, my take profit to where I want it to be, so on and so forth. But with the, like I said, with TopStep X, it's based on a dollar amount and not on ticks, and I just don't like it. There was other things about the TopStep X platform that I didn't like. I know they've been doing updates to it and whatever else. I haven't used it in a while, so maybe it's better now. But I do know when I did use it, I just was not a fan. It was not intuitive. It just didn't work the way that I'm used to with trading. And I just didn't like it. And so I think for people like myself, where you're very adamant about using footprint charts, you're very adamant about using Quantower, you're very adamant about having the high volume nodes and all that stuff and order flow, they're not going to want to switch over to TopStep X. And so those people, they're just going to lose as clients. So maybe for them, I don't know, business wise, it might be a better deal, because I'm sure they have to pay money to Quantower for people using their service. And so even if they lose business on the end of people that want to use Quantower leaving, maybe they still make more money because they're going to have more people trading on their platform that aren't adamant about using Quantower or whatever else, right? So they're pushing, their platform, which I get. I just don't know that from a business perspective, it's the right move. I hope this is kind of bad to say, but I hope they lose a lot of business for it. Just because if they do, then maybe they'll bring it back, right? And then people like myself can go back to using it. But for now, I'm going to be forced to switching over to like Apex or something and paying the $70 monthly, which again, it's not going to break the bank, but I would rather keep that $70. And what I'm actually probably going to end up doing realistically is just buying the lifetime membership and writing it off as a business expense. I think mathematically, like, I don't remember. I think it's like 2.5 years or 3 years or something. Um, Oops. Nice. I don't know how to use a calculator, boys and girls. 22 months. So just under 2 years, it would pay for itself. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing. Azra, I hope that's how you pronounce your name. I have not charted ES yet. And I don't know that I'm going to be charting ES until the morning. I have no problem sharing my chart once I chart it. But there's a good chance I'll forget. So I would recommend, if you're worried about your levels, charting it yourself and then like posting your own chart in Keenan's and just seeing if people can confirm that your levels are correct and so on and so forth. Again, if I had time, I'm about to run out the door, I would do it and share it with you. But unfortunately, I just don't have time right now. And just the way, basically, ever since I started going live on YouTube and doing my SPY updates, that's when I used to chart ES for myself. And since I've started doing that in the evenings, I like to spend time with my family, whatever, have dinner, help my wife clean the kitchen, whatever, blah, 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 spend time with the baby, spend time with my son, whatever other stuff we have going on. And so I've resorted to charting ES in the morning before the market opens. So again, if I had time, absolutely I would. If I remember tomorrow morning, I will post it. But pretty good chance that I'll forget, but I will try my best to remember. And if I do, I'll definitely post it. But again, I would just say, if you're worried about your levels, just probably just buddy up with somebody and, look at each other's charts or whatever. Or you can always ask in Keenan's, what levels people have or whatever for previous day, low, high, and POC and all that stuff. All right. With that said, and actually I just thought about something. You might be worried about like TPO, because I know a lot of people don't have what's it called? Premium on TradingView. And if you're worried about TPO, this is your levels for that. This is going to be your single prints, right? And we're going to get rid of this. This is your single print top right there. And up here at the top is going to be your pour high. Okay. Just in case that's what you're looking for. And then also kind of the same thing. I don't know the exact levels, but sorry. I guess according to this, it's single prints, but no, this is a pour high. For, what was I going to say? Our high volume node, it was 311 that we're watching to 13. This is the area you want to be in short. Okay. So. All right. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're basically done at this point. Let's just do this. I don't know if you can hear the baby, but she's messing with the dogs. It's literally just too cute. We got to do our SIGs for the last 2 days. The baby messing with the dogs. You guys can hear this, right? Nice, Michael. Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I just read your first message. I read your second message first. I definitely appreciate that. I'm going to throw this out there really quickly. And I don't talk about this a lot. And the reason I don't talk about it a lot is I don't want to seem like somebody that's like, selling stuff, because that's really just not the case. And basically when I say what this is, I think the value speaks for itself. I've made it very inexpensive. But I felt like I had to charge something for my time because of the amount of time that I'm going to be putting into doing this. But I have a mentorship group where literally, like, no joke, $100 one-time fee. I go over exactly the same content in a group setting, and every session is recorded that I would if I was doing like an individual mentorship for 10 grand. So, and that's proven, the mentorships that I do are proven to be successful. I have helped people become successful traders over and over again using exactly the same information, the same psychology, all of that. I will say you don't need to pay anybody to help you learn. You just buy books, study, listen to the right people on YouTube. But you don't even have to listen to people on YouTube. Just buying books and studying alone is enough. But you definitely want to, I would say there's definitely people you don't want to listen to, and people that you do want to listen to. And there's definitely books that you don't want to read and books that you do want to read. So just having a mentor basically will help you point you in the right direction, I guess would be the word. I'm posting this chart on Keenan's. I'm going to zoom in pretty good here to try to separate all these levels here. I'm just going to post 3 different images because that's the only way I can really separate these levels here. And then our high volume node at the top here. So basically with all that said, like, it's a really good place to learn. All of the sessions are recorded, and I'm talking about everything: setups, what books to read. I talk about all of the same stuff here, but it's in a what's the, like, an A through Z format, right? Instead of like Here, it's really hard for me to do A through Z format because one day I'll be talking about Z and teaching Z, and then the next day I'm teaching B, and everything's kind of all over the place. And so that way, following that format, everything's laid out. Start here, do this. And I even give time frames. I'm like, trade only using this for about 6 to 8 weeks. Once you feel comfortable with that, then start adding this into your trades. And so everything's like, laid out the same way that I would if I was doing a one-on-one mentorship, but it's just a group session. And again, everything's recorded just in case people aren't able to attend it live, so they can always go back and rewatch it. If that's, yeah, Mary Jane, the baby's having a blast messing with the dog. It's actually just way too cute. But if that does interest anybody, just hit me up, my DMs. And like I said, it's just going to be a one-time $100 fee. And that's just to kind of like make it worth my while for the amount of time that I'm going to be putting in. Also, people tend to learn better when, like there's money attached to it. If it's free, they're like, oh, it's maybe not at the front of their mind, but in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, like, this isn't as valuable because I'm not paying for it. So putting a little bit of a fee on it is twofold. And then it also holds me accountable, right? To where I feel like I've got to get in there and do the classes and whatever else. And with that said, I've slacked off the last couple of weeks. And so I need to get in there probably tomorrow night or tonight or something and do a video. So to the people asking how to join, literally just DM me on Discord. If you don't have access to my Discord, you can go into the description of my YouTube channel, and my email's in there, or I can post it for you guys on the YouTube chat here. So this is my email. If you don't have access to my Discord, you can email me. Just make sure you make the title like clear, like, hey, I'm emailing you about the Discord group, or say Catching Rockets or whatever. Because if I see Catching Rockets, I'm going to know it's somebody reaching out from YouTube. I'm not very good at emails. If by some chance you email me and I don't reply to you, email me again. Okay. Because there's always a chance I might miss an email. I'm never ignoring anybody. If I don't like what you have to say, I'll literally tell you like to F off or something, but I won't ignore you. And for me to tell somebody that is very rare, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not the kind of person that'll like read a message and just ignore it. You're going to get some kind of a reply from me. So if you don't hear back from me for whatever reason, if you DM me on Discord, I get so many messages that sometimes they do get lost in the mix. So if you don't get a reply back from me within like a reasonable amount of time, send another message. If you email me and for whatever reason you don't get a reply within a reasonable amount of time, send another email. I'm not going to get annoyed. Like if you email me an hour later because I didn't reply, I'm not going to be like, oh, why is this person emailing me twice? So the big thing for me is I don't ever want to accidentally miss a message. I would rather have more messages and reply than less messages and miss it, if that makes sense. So anyway, to anybody that's interested, either DM me or send me an email. We'll get you set up. Like I said, one-time $100 fee. Yeah, kind of just holding your hand through learning how to become a trader. I think it's an amazing value. It's an amazing deal. I've done a few mentorships in my lifetime, never for less than $10,000. And all of the people that I've done mentorships for felt like their money was well spent and it was worth it. But a lot of people, and actually I'm going to end the video with this. A lot of people would assume that you could just hit me up and be like, hey, I've got 10 grand, mentor me. It doesn't work that way. Mentorship, you're basically like bound to that person for 6 months where you're going to be meeting daily, spending a lot of time with them, spending a lot of time talking. Right now in my life, I don't even have time for that. So I wouldn't even consider taking on a mentor right now, or sorry, a mentee right now. because I don't have the time. So like, even if you hit me up and you're like knocked on my front door with 10 bands, like, hey, here I am, mentor me, I'd turn you away. It's not about money. And actually, for people that are good traders, they can make way more money in less time trading than they can doing a mentorship, right? So somebody that's like excited about getting that 10 grand from you or whatever it is, whatever they're charging, they're doing it because they're not successful trading, right? A real trader, you're going to have to kind of like befriend them and like, I wouldn't say beg, but you're going to have to kind of convince them that you're worth their time. Otherwise, they're just going to tell you no. Like, it's just not worth the amount of time that's required to do a mentorship. So, with all of that said, it's kind of the same theme, right? If you don't see somebody doing it live, don't learn from them. If somebody's excited about taking money from you for a mentorship or whatever else, you're probably not wanting to learn from them. If you see somebody trading live and they're offering to mentor you, and you've seen them trade enough times to know that they're good at what they're doing, then count your lucky stars and take it. So that's that. As always, much love, much respect, everybody. More likely than not, like 99.9% chance, I will do a free live trading session for everybody. I'm trying to think here. Like, so there's always people that are in the YouTube that don't have access to me on Discord. I don't know of a way to like get live trading sessions to you guys. I do it through Zoom, and like streaming on YouTube, there's a really bad delay. And so when you're doing something that requires, like really quick response, you don't want a 10-second or 15-second delay. You sent me a DM? I don't see any DMs. Oh, I see it now. Sorry. I don't know how to explain it, but like the sidebar on my Discord was scrolled up, and I've never had that happen before, so I couldn't see the DMs. But yeah, I'll answer you right now. I have to run in a minute, but I have time to answer the DMs really quick. What was I saying? Yeah. Anyway, I don't really know of a good way to get information to you guys as far as live trading sessions if you just follow me on YouTube. But when I do live trading, I always drop the link in my mentorship group so they can watch. But in general, I will say I trade live every day for the most part. There, some days off here and there. I would say on average, like 4 days a week, I trade live. But with that said, I do that in Shorty's Discord. And for me, this YouTube channel is never really about promoting a Discord, if that makes sense. So for people that don't know, Shorty is my mentor, and I feel like I owe him so much that when he told me he wanted to start up a Discord, he asked me to help him. I became an admin on his Discord, and my way of helping is answering questions and trading live every day and teaching, doing education, so on and so forth. And so I focus most of my time trading live on his Discord. I've started going live once a week on Keenan's Discord. And on the my mentorship Discord, whenever I do like a free trading session, like for whatever, like Keenan's Discord, the the weekly live trading sessions I do there for people with the doctorate level tier. But the free live trading sessions, which is what I'll be doing on Wednesday, I make it available to everybody. So it'll be posted in my mentorship group. It'll be posted publicly on my channel on Keenan's Discord. and I will be live with the people in Shorty's Discord that I trade with every day. And you'll probably hear them talking in the background. So yeah, if you do get into the, the mentorship group, you'll be able to see me trading live. And we always, try to throw education in there as we're doing it, talk about setups, talk about what I'm looking for, what I'm watching, why I'm watching it, so on and so forth. I always try to turn every trading session into education as well, right? And I also feel like it's always good to watch. I don't want to refer to myself as a professional trader, but like watching Shorty trade live, I definitely consider him a professional. It's always like really good to see a professional trader do it live and see how quickly they'll flip from calls to puts or longs to shorts and so on and so forth. I know I don't remember what it was, like a couple weeks ago. I went live on Keenan's and we were short right out of the open and we were targeting a level. And when it hit our level, we closed our shorts and immediately switched to calls or longs, and literally closed at the bottom, switched, reversed into longs. We got pretty close to the top of the longs, but we closed a little bit early, and then price kept going higher, and then it came back and retested a level, and we jumped back into longs or calls and played it up almost to the top again. So people got to see me literally go from puts or short down to my level where I wanted to close my puts or shorts and immediately switch to calls or longs, play that up, and then close it, get a pullback, hop back in long, and almost close it at the top again. And that's how I trade, really. Like whenever I'm getting into a trade, I'm trying to get in either at the top or the bottom. And when I close the trade, I want it to be at a key level where I'm expecting a reversal, right? Otherwise, if I'm not expecting a reversal, I should still be in the trade. Obviously, it doesn't always work 100%, but we do have a pretty high win rate, pretty accurate win rate. So again, good stuff to see. As always, much love, much respect, everybody. I hope you all had a good time. I feel like this has been a pretty enjoyable YouTube live. And again, hopefully people that were live with me today learned some stuff. We talked about quite a bit of education during the live training session, and we'll do it again on Wednesday. This one will be free for everybody. So make sure you get in there before it fills up. As always, much love, much respect. Peace out, everybody. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't, I'll post my levels. And if I don't see you tomorrow, we'll be live Wednesday morning. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good